Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel today. I will be talking about makeup tips, so bring your paper and pen and let us start with the video. First thing you should know is your makeup type. A. Look fresh plus natural. B. Enhance features but still soft. C. Snatched, sculpted, flawless. D. Creative, unique, standout looks.
This is how to apply contacts for beginners. I always recommend starting with a clean face and clean, dry hands. I am using Doe's colored contacts in the shade Golden Olive. Once I've opened up the contact, I'm just going to pick it up with my index finger. You may have to play around with it a little bit, but this is exactly how it should look on your finger, as if it's like already cupped upwards. For my eye bags, but what we're going to do is gently lift your lid. At this point, you want to look the opposite direction and place the contact onto the whites of your eye. You can pat it in a little bit and blink. You may need to blink a couple of times just to get it into place, but this is how it should look. And just like that, you've applied your contacts and you're ready to take on the day.
Primer can make you look like a crusty mess. Crusty. Or smooth and poreless. Let me show you the do's and don'ts.
Don't go in with primer seconds after skincare, especially this much primer. It is always going to have a high chance of peeling. Instead,
your skincare should be done 30 minutes ago. Let your skincare fully absorb before applying any primer, and so that you don't waste it, you only need this much. I promise you it'll cover the entire skin. If it's just hydration that you're needing, you can skip on your moisturizer and just use this. Just applied your primer and then you go in with your foundation seconds after, it's going to peel. Now you can really see the uneven peeling. Wait 30 seconds before applying your foundation. That way it grips to the skin and glides over the primer. Silicone with silicone for a smooth finish. Water-based with water-based for a hydrated glow. And now you know how to apply primer. Color correctors, where do they go? What do we use them for? Let me show you. Yellow and peach are my secret to remove dark circles. Yellow brightens all skin tones and cancels out any purple. Peach cancels out blue, so together they cancel out any brown, purpley blue under eyes.
this combo is great for fair to light medium skin tones. Also, let the color corrector completely dry down before applying concealer or foundation.
Do you see the difference already? It's amazing. Orange is great to cancel out any blue darkness underneath the eyes for medium to medium deep skin tones, and red does the same for deep dark skin tones. Green cancels any redness on the face, so acne, blemishes, rosacea. Don't be scared, just keep blending. You're not going to turn into the Hulk, I promise. And if you only have a bronze and you want to contour, there's a blue color corrector right on top. It turns your bronzer into your perfect shade of contour. And after all of this is dried down, then you apply your concealer. You won't need to use as much makeup, meaning your chances of looking cakey are very low. Try it, you'll have flawless skin every single time.
You have a freshly picked spot or scab you can't seem to cover? Here's what I do to make it seamless in the end. After skin prep, I'm going to dab the spots dry so there's more grip for the products to cling onto. And I'm going to layer a primer on top, almost as a protective layer between my makeup. If it's super red, I'm going to take a green color corrector just to neutralize the redness. Before I put on my foundation, I'm going to layer on the NARS Pot Concealer. This is my go-to concealer whenever I need to cover spots because it layers right on top of the spot instead of pulling around it. And I'm just going to let this sit a little bit before I blend it out. And as I'm blending it out, I'm really feathering the edges around the spot instead of blending over the spot. And even as I'm applying my foundation, I'm going to dab on top of the spot instead of rubbing it so that I'm not moving the products underneath. Even though I'm trying to build coverage, I'm still going to reblend everything with a sponge just so that it still looks skin-like. She's still showing through, so I'm going to add a second layer of concealer on top, dabbing her on. Again, blending out the edges so that the concealer stays right on the spot. And of course, we have to set it so the concealer doesn't move. And if she still refuses to be covered up, don't be afraid to go in with a tiny bit of concealer over the powder. You know how it's hard to blend out creams over powders? Well, that is the point in this case. I'm using the powder underneath to grip onto the concealer for the last time. Set it again. Gonna apply all my other powdered products. Ta-da! But at the end of the day, if you still see texture, that's normal because we're human with real skin, okay?
If you can actually see your foundation on top of your skin when you apply it, chances are it's not the right undertone for you. This is how it should actually look. It should just seamlessly blend into your skin, and you should barely be able to see it. I'm going to show you the easiest way to find out what your undertone actually is. This is episode 8 of my Makeup Essentials series where I'm showing you how to elevate your makeup game, so make sure you follow along. Your shade is basically how light or deep your skin is, and your undertone is the temperature of your skin. But this filter is a lifesaver. It's going to show you exactly what undertone you are in the easiest way possible. Shout out to Grace for making it. Essentially, you want to do this without any makeup on so it can be as accurate as possible. And you're going to choose kind of the shade range you would fall in. So for me, I think I would choose this one. Once you have this, you want to see which undertone is blending into your skin perfectly. For me, it's somewhere between neutral and cool. I think neutral is the best option because even with cool, you can kind of see it, but neutral kind of blends perfectly. And it's actually so funny because I'm Indian and we're always told that we're either warm or olive undertone, which is so wrong. I'm so happy I learned this because I was basically wearing the wrong shade of foundation my entire life. Another way to check is going to Sephora or wherever you get your foundation from, and if they have a mirror and they allow you to test different foundations, find the shade range that will work for you. And you'll see that a lot of brands actually have multiple different undertones within one shade range. So for example, I'm light medium, but then a lot of brands will have light medium cool, light medium neutral, light medium warm. So what you want to do is test all of the undertones on your skin under that one specific shade range, and then whatever blends in and melts into your skin the best is your shade and your undertone. Haus Labs actually does a great job of this. They have so many different shades and so many different undertones. I hope this helps. Make sure you follow along for the rest of this series.
Foundation can make you look cakey and crusty or natural and flawless. Let me show you the do's and don'ts.
Applying directly to your face can easily make you look cakey and clog your pores.
Look, do as I say, not as I do. I do this too for videos, but that's why I have this how to apply makeup series, because the things we do for content, let me show you how to really do it. First things first, use a dense brush with soft bristles or your fingers. Both are great. Take the foundation on the back of your hand or a mixing plate. Blend it into your hand until it is evenly distributed on the brush and you don't have too much on your face, which can get cakey like this side. If you have a mixing plate, you're probably a makeup artist. You already know what to do, but blend it out until you can't blend it anymore. You're ready to put it on your face, so you sweep it over. No, don't do this. Instead of sweeping, pat and gently buff in to get it evenly all over your face. Don't stop at the neck. Using whatever you have left over on the brush, blend into the neck. Go over with a beauty sponge so it's soft and gradually blends into the skin. Apply your foundation all the way up to your eyes and then a concealer. It's so cakey, so creasy, it's a mess. Instead, avoid the under eye area. Save that for concealer. The skin is really thin around this area. It doesn't hold a lot of product well.
If you already bought the wrong foundation, it's okay. Here is the tip.
You bought the wrong foundation shade. It's too dark or too light. Let me show you how to fix it. If it's too dark, it's basically like having bronzer all over your face already. So you just need to brighten and conceal. If you've seen the lifting technique with concealer, do that. No need to add any more cream bronzer. You are done. If you're too light, you're missing dimension. Contour in all the usual places. Trust me, it's gonna fix. Now it's all evened out and no one will ever know.
Concealer after contour. This is called underpainting, and many makeup artists do it. Gives a strong lift, bright under eyes, makes contour softer and less harsh. Good if your contour looks too dark, concealer lightens it, but gives you USTU's liquid, cream contour if you do this. Never put concealer over powder contour. It will become patchy. If you want a natural, blended, skin-like look, choose liquid cream contour. Best for dry skin, normal skin, beginners easier to blend, clean girl look, dewy makeup, everyday makeup. Why? Blends smoothly, looks like natural shadow, doesn't look powdery, melts into the skin. Use liquid contour before powder. If you want a defined, sharp, snatched look, choose powder contour. Best for oily skin, combo skin on T-zone, glam makeup, soft matte looks, extra definition. Why? Lasts longer on oily skin, gives a sculpted, chiseled look, sets the face better. Use powder contour AFTR powder, but do it according to your face shape. You can use liquid cream contour OR powder contour. It depends on your skin type, your makeup style, and how natural or glam you want it to look. Here's a brush guide.
Can you do a liquid contour tutorial? Sure. I'm Liv, I'm a professional makeup artist, and this is my series on beginner makeup tutorials. Today we're going over liquid contour. Two liquid contours that I think are perfect for beginners are the Charlotte Tilbury and Emco Beauty contours. I'm going to use Charlotte's in today's video. So when you have a product like this that's in like a squeezy tube, your best bet is to apply directly to your face, but placement is really key. When you contour, you want to hit the spot below your cheekbone because it's going to help carve out your face and give you that chiseled look. And that's different from bronzing because when you bronze, you actually put it on top of your cheekbone. I also like to apply to my forehead and a little on my jaw. When I blend out my contour, I like to use a more small defined brush, which is going to give me an easier time blending in this more detailed area. So when you blend, you really want to try your best to keep the contour in the spot that you initially placed it. You don't want to be rubbing this all around your face because the whole point of contour is that you're creating a shadow, not just going all crazy across your face. I also like to use a beauty blender just to keep things under control. So just with little dabbing motions like this, I can super easily buff out the contour. Blending in your forehead is very important. You need to blend the contour all the way up into your hairline. You want to make your forehead look smaller, and that illusion is not going to work if it just stops right here. Same thing for your jaw. Really try to keep it in this area. Now I always like to clean up the contour with a dot of concealer. This is just going to help keep it sharp. Here's one side with the contour versus without. The difference is actually insane. It just makes my face look so much more chiseled. I absolutely love contour, and it's not as scary as it may seem.
Model cheek versus baby face cheek. Let's figure out which one looks best. The model cheekbone is sculpted, lifted with a slimmer cheek and the jawline. You want to pat in place and then blend this cheek part inwards. Powder to lock it in on top. Translucent powder to emphasize the curve. Blush along the curve. It gives Vogue cover snatched. Baby face cheeks are full and rounded. Round this part out, press the shape into place, powder, brighten below and above. Blush in the cup gives more of a youthful look than what you already have. Okay, which one looks better? And most importantly, which one fits you?
If you're a beginner and you don't know how to use concealer, this video is for you. I'm a professional makeup artist and this is my easy concealer tutorial. I'm using the Rare Beauty concealer. It's my favorite medium coverage hydrating one. I'm gonna start with a little line right under my eye, and instead of covering this whole area, you're just gonna do a second line going upwards at the outer corner. This is more than enough concealer to cover your whole under eye area, and this line is gonna help lift your face. I also put concealer on my chin because it's a natural highlight point on your face. The same thing goes for your forehead. Sometimes I'll put a little line here just to sharpen up my contour, and then I do a dot on my nose. You always want to let your concealer sit for about 30 seconds to a minute before you blend it, and what that's going to do is make it a little bit more full coverage. Once you let it sit, you're going to take a damp beauty sponge. I always blend my under eye last, so I'll start with my chin and my forehead, and I just do little dabbing motions. You don't want to spread it. That's bad. Spreading bad. Tapping good. Then for your under eye, you're going to take this teardrop part of your beauty blender and do the same thing, these little dabbing motions under your eye, and make sure you're going in this upward motion and keeping that little lifting effect. I also always recommend a little dot on the lid itself. Blend it out just like you did everything else with your little taps. You can really see a huge difference of no concealer versus concealer. Comment if you have any other questions, but concealer isn't so scary and anyone can do it.
Concealer placement is arguably one of the most important steps in any makeup routine, in my opinion. So today I'm going to be telling you guys where I place my concealer and why. First, I'm simply showing you guys where I place my concealer, and then as I blend it out, I'll tell you guys why. Concealer is so essential for brightening, reverse contouring, and sculpting your face out. And you can really create any illusion to your makeup you want just by placing your concealer in these spots. I always put concealer on my chin just to simply help brighten up the center of my face. And then this cheek concealer is my absolute favorite. This is reverse contouring your cheek contour. It's also sculpting out your face, and when you look forwards towards the camera, it narrows in the bottom half of your face, making your cheekbones appear sharper. I also conceal around my nose simply because women get hormonal redness around their noses, so I like to cover that up. The forehead is the same as the chin, just to brighten the center of the face. And you'll notice I also put concealer on the sides of my nose. This is to reverse contour your nose. So if you want your nose to appear slimmer, try concealing the sides of your nose and look at the difference it makes. You'll also notice me drag my under eye concealer up towards my temple. This helps lift up your eyes. Again, just creating an illusion. We're trying to make our face look as lifted as possible. I also do personally put 2 layers on my under eye. And And then you want to immediately use setting powder after concealer, looking up while you do your under eyes. And you only put setting powder where you put concealer. Try this out and let me know how you like it. Bye.
Start with your applicator and just do a little swipe on either side, and placement is super important. You want to put it so close to your under eye that it's almost going into your concealer and it's sitting on top of the bronzer that we just applied. Now to blend, I like using a brush. This one's by IT Cosmetics and I like it because it's not too dense. This is their Heavenly Luxe Complexion Perfection brush. When you blend, you want to keep the blush in this general area so you're not going to drag it all across your face. You're just going to gently do little tiny swipes, kind of dragging it in the same exact position. And then you start doing dabbing motions like this. Keep doing this until your blush is pretty distributed, but you still want to keep it in this upward spot, really playing into your under eye area. By placing your blush here, it's going to help your face look a little bit more lifted. Of course, blush is one of those things where it's really personal preference. So if you want, you can put some on the apples of your cheeks as well. But personally, I recommend keeping it in this upwards position. If you feel like it's still too much for you, go ahead and take a beauty blender and just gently dab with some small taps until it is exactly how you want it. I absolutely love the look of liquid blush.
The difference in blush placement.
Before this gets out of hand, no more distance, let's just dance.
Which side do you like more?
Won't take advantage, trust I can bend.
Friends, if you struggle with applying makeup because you wear glasses, I got you. Here are some makeup placement tips for glasses wearers. Your eye makeup should balance the look of your frames. Mine are from Jins. Glasses tend to direct attention to the upper eyebrow area, so to balance it out, I'm going to put some shadow under the eye to bring focus back to the eyes. These wide frames make my eyes look bigger, and I love how the shadow placement complements that. These metal frames bring light to the center of my face, aligning my brows, eyes, and lips in a V shape. To complement this alignment, I'm going to use a darker shadow to create a soft wing on the outer corner, place blush closer to my under eye area and nose, and put lipstick on the outer corner, softly blending inwards. With these dark rounder frames, I'm going to use blush and place them right where I would put my concealer, bringing it upwards into the temple and outer eye area. I'm also going to put some shimmer here to bring focus and brighten my eyes. After applying blush, this area can look patchy, so I always reblend my concealer into my blush to make this transition more seamless.
This video is for you if you want to know how to contour your nose naturally. Make it easier for yourself, get a cream contour, and get a small brush. We're going to take some of this contour. Make sure when you contour it's on top of your nose, not on the sides of your nose. First, make a line in the middle of your nose that follows parallel to the shadow of your nose. Make the same on the other side. Put contour on the bottom of the tip of your nose, then right above the tip of your nose. So it looks like this. Get a blending brush. Blend the line upwards, curving out below the brow. Then blend it down. I like to blend it down in a diagonal way. Blend this down. Ever so slightly, just blend it a little bit to the side. Then do the same on this side. Then concealer on the sides. Blend it. I just realized the last 3 clips were in 3 times speed. So what I technically did was put concealer on the sides, blended it, and then I added highlight. So that's how it looks like. Don't forget about the baking powder. And you're done.
Now, if you want to have that lifted shape, do this with the powder.
These are the setting powder tips I wish I knew sooner. Use a flat face brush with a small amount of powder before going in with the powder puff to fill in fine lines and create a smooth, even base. Powder your puff, then pat and smooth on your palm. How it looks here is how it's going onto your skin. Use a pink powder with light pressure to brighten the under eye. Light pressure when smoothing onto your face. If you press down too hard, you can break apart the makeup. We're always told to use these big dome-shaped powder brushes for powder, but I find using a flat wide brush is less mess and keeps your makeup in place all day long. Use a hydrating setting powder if you have dry skin that tends to crease. This one has hyaluronic acid infused in the formula. It's also talc-free, vegan, and clean beauty. That's why this one's the best. Setting powder can make you look dry and cakey or smooth and flawless. Let me show you the do's and don'ts. The Snatch Cheek Bake. We've been loving this extreme extreme glam for a while, but let me show you something that's more natural and not as heavy, because once you wipe this off, this is what it looks like, and I just can't wear that every day. Try curving it down behind the chin. This gives you a natural everyday definition and it blends so seamlessly. Try it out, tell me how you like it. Packing powder on the powder puff and just going straight in. Going straight in like this, get ready to look dry, cakey, and patchy for the rest of the day. It is gonna be so uneven. Instead, swirl it on the back of your hand so that it's even and smooth. However it looks on the powder puff is how it's going to look on your face, so make sure it's nice and smooth. Also, using a hydrating matte setting powder like this one will keep the dryness away and always make sure you're smooth and flawless.
No. No, 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 no. Exactly.
Next step is blush.
Blush can make you look like a rash or fresh and pretty. Let me show you the do's and don'ts. The type of brush you use matters. Using a thick, tightly packed brush will apply way too much blush at one time. Scary. Use a softly contoured or a round brush with loosely packed bristles to give you the softest application. Even if you're using the right brush, don't go straight into your cheek. It can look patchy, uneven, and just give way too much. Instead, swirl, pat, and it applies evenly across the cheek. And you can build it up. Apply blush so that it enhances your face shape. Apply it high up to lift your face shape, or apply it lower to give you a youthful look. Placement of blush changes your face shape. I've done this video. If you need to watch it, watch that next. Blush placement hack that is surgery for your face. If you want a facelift, put your hand under your brow at the highest point of your cheekbone. Pop your blush in right there. The perfect placement. Then you're gonna need to blend it out a bit. Lifted. Our hands are our surgery tools. If you want fuller cheeks, make an L with your hand and place it by your nose. This is the perfect placement for fuller cheeks that won't drag your face down. If you have a full face, do this one. Have a very narrow, skinny face, try this one. I personally like the lifted, but which one is for you?
This is how to layer your eyeshadow. Concealer, loose powder, choose a color. I'm gonna use warm browns. Use a fluffy brush to grab the lightest shade of that color. Blend that lightest shade all across your crease. Use swiping motions. Grab the next darkest shade. Blend that on the outer corner of your eye. Use circular motions. Grab a flat, dense brush. Grab your darkest color. Place right over here. Clean, fluffy brush to blend everything out. Clean up with concealer. Creamy white color on the inner corner. Shadow under waterline with the flat angled brush. Brown shadow to create a wing liner. Shimmery shadow in the inner corner. Curl lashes. False lashes, mascara on bottom lashes, all done.
Don't do this. Taking a dark color on a small dense brush. This type of brush will never give you a nice blend. You're trying to blend it up to your brow, but you didn't use a transition color, which makes it very hard to blend. So instead, do this. Start with a big fluffy brush. Take a lighter version of the color you want to use. This is called the transition color. You're actually going to place this much lower than where you want it to go, focusing the product on the outer corner and then blending it up lightly towards the brow. See how little pressure I'm putting on the brush? This helps me get that very nice blend. Bring it in lightly and add it to the outer lower lash line. Now with a smaller fluffy brush, you can dip back into that darkest shade. Focus that only on what we call the outer V, because you're literally creating a little V shape. I'm blending with little circular motions. Take that same fluffy brush. With whatever product is left, you're going to blend the two together. Now you can add your eyeliner, a shimmer in the inner corner, and some lashes. And I did the same thing on this side just so you can compare the difference. I used that same color, but the little tips and tricks and application makes such a huge. If your mom never showed you how to do your makeup, I'm your mom now. Today I'm going to show you the eyeshadow recipe. Everyone that knows how to do makeup knows this recipe, and it's very simple. You're going to need 3 eyeshadows and 3 brushes. A light, medium, and dark, and you can do this with any color palette. Start with the medium shade on the fluffy brush. This is going to go right in the socket and you're going to swipe back and forth. Next, grab your darkest shade on a small fluffy brush. Tap off the excess before applying. Tap this on the outer corner and bring it in just a little. Blend with small circular motions and sweep that dark shade on that lower lash line. Next, grab your lightest shade on a flat brush. Tap this into the center of the lid and sweep it on the brow bone. I'm gonna finish this off with a wing and a little half lash. This is the before and the after. It's not meant to look wild and dramatic. It's just supposed to accentuate your eyes in a very natural way.
Or look dull with makeup, it's probably because you're using the wrong tones. Hazel eyes are like chameleons. They shift based on the tones around them. To pull greens forward, you need shades with a red or a berry base. Think shades of plum, cranberry, rose gold, warm mauves, and brown berry shades. To bring out the brown and keep it balanced, go for radiance. The warmth that these kind of like bronzy, honey gold copper shades have is gonna tie everything together instead of making the eye look flat. Now to balance both the green and the brown tones at the same time, taupes and soft neutrals are my absolute favorite because they don't compete with either eye shade. They're just going to make the overall reflection of the eye stronger. I used a rosy kind of mauve shade through the crease, tap of berry on the outer corner, rose gold on the eyelid, a taupe colored eyeliner, brown mascara. See how the green in my eyes looks brighter and the brown looks richer? That's just simple tone balance. Save this for the next time your hazel eye.
Know what your eye shape is to put your eyeshadow and eyeliner.
Did you know that if you take an angled eyeliner brush, pick up some black eyeshadow, and stamp it onto the outer corner of your eye, connect that to your lash line, and flick out the tail end, pick up some more and stamp it on your inner corner, it gives you the easiest and most subtle winged eyeliner.
Quick tip on how to get the best curl for your lashes. Every single person asks me, have I got lash lift? No, I just use a curler. Once you've actually got your lashes in the curler, what you're going to do is like lift your lid. You see that difference? I lift my lid. When you lift your lid, you kind of expose your roots and then you can pinch and get them right at the root. Look at how much like lash. Usually people curl them like halfway here and it doesn't give them that lift. Pinch, 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 hold. I love it, guys. Try it. Just try it. Stitch this in.
Here's how I get my lashes to look like this. Coat your lashes vertically before horizontally. Once you get your lashes in place, let that layer dry. You should only do 2 layers. When you go in for layer 2, don't dip the mascara back into the bottle. This adds way too much extra product to your wand. Don't forget those lashes in your inner corners. Get yourself a spoolie, and when your lashes are dry, use it to comb out any clumps. Take a Q-tip and micellar water to clean off your lids.
Friends, if you struggle with applying makeup because you wear glasses, I got you. Here are some makeup placement tips for glasses wearers. Your eye makeup should balance the look of your frames. Mine are from Jins. Glasses tend to direct attention to the upper eyebrow area, so to balance it out, I'm going to put some shadow under the eye to bring focus back to the eyes. These wide frames make my eyes look bigger, and I love how the shadow placement complements that. These metal frames bring light to the center of my face, aligning my brows, eyes, and lips in a V shape. To complement this alignment, I'm going to use a darker shadow to create a soft wing on the outer corner, place blush closer to my under eye area and nose, and put lipstick on the outer corner, softly blending inwards. With these dark rounder frames, I'm going to use blush and place them right where I would put my concealer, bringing it upwards into the temple and outer eye area. I'm also going to put some shimmer here to bring focus and brighten my eyes. We want to look glowy, not oily, and highlight placement is so important. I like putting it right on top of the cheekbones to lift the face. Wow. But not extending past the center of the cheeks because that's where I get sweaty, and we do not want to mimic that. Right above the jawline here is oddly a wonderful place to put it. I just think it makes the side profile look so dewy and glowy. But stop before you go too far because highlight on the chin looks oily. If you do like a slicked back hairstyle, a pop of highlight right on the peak of the forehead is so cute and fresh. But the center of the forehead, that's a different story. For a moment, I stopped putting highlight on my nose because I was looking too oily, but that's because I was doing too much. Now I look at where the light hits my nose naturally, a tiny little exclamation mark. But honestly, makeup is makeup, so who am I to tell you where to put your glow? I mean, I like to do it on my eyes, my lips, my collarbones, even my ears.
Just look at me glow, so pretty.
If you want bigger lips, blend it together and put any lip gloss.
Every time you do your lip liner, you end up looking like this. Let me give you a few tips. Always sharpen your lip pencil. It will help you get a much more precise line than a dull one. Stop trying to hold your pencil straight on like this. This makes your hand super wobbly and makes it hard to get a clean line. So instead, you're going to hold it at an angle to your lip line. I start on my Cupid's bow and I'm going to lightly overline. Same for the bottom lip. Look at where I have this little shadow from my lip line. I hold my pencil at an angle and glide it across my lips. Again, I'm not holding my pencil straight on like this. I'm tilting it so it's flat on my lip. I'm connecting from the corner of my mouth up to my Cupid's bow. Laying your pencil flat on your lips gives you a lot more stability. Our lips are naturally protruding, so I'm using that ridge as a guide for my lip pencil. Then shade in the corners of your lips. This is gonna act as kind of like a contour, making your lips look powderier and fuller in the center. You can fill it in completely or you can leave the center bare. I like to leave it bare and then just go in with a lip gloss. Okay, and these are the final lips. This helps your lips look bigger and powderier without looking obviously overlined. Let me know in the comments if this video helped you.
Lipstick can make you slay or scare people away. Let me show you the do's and don'ts. Prepping your lips with a glossy lip gloss.
Your lip products are not going to be as pigmented or stick.
Instead, use a lip primer that adds light moisture and smooths your lips.
With a primer, your lip products will grip to your lip better and last longer.
Going straight in with a light or bright colored lipstick. I mean, it's a pretty color, but it needs contrast.
Adding lip liner gives definition and balances any color out. Brown is my favorite to use on all colors. Look at the difference. Please don't go out with uneven lipstick. Let me help you with a little bit of concealer and a concealer brush to clean up the lip line. Now your lips are gonna slay every time.
If you're applying your lipstick just straight in like this, in a few hours it's gonna look like this. Bleeding, smudging, and just fading away. The do's and don'ts of long-wearing lip color, let's get into it. First, make sure you prime and hydrate your lips, but don't oversaturate them, especially right before your lip color. Hydrated lips are super important, but you can definitely overdo it, and if you apply this right before your lipstick, it's gonna mess up the formula. So I recommend you apply any lip balm at the beginning of your routine, but either way, make sure you wipe off that excess. But now don't go straight in with your lip color. Stain and line them first. Kind of like underpainting, I'm going in with this red lip stain marker, applying this all around the lips. You can just use it as a liner or completely fill in. This will create a beautiful base color that won't move all day, so even if your lipstick wears away, this will still come through. Now we have a beautiful base color that can't go anywhere. Now it's time to line the lips, but don't use a wood pencil. Use a twist up or sharpenable plastic, as these are going to be a lot more long wearing. And simply etching this around the lips and blending it in with my finger, and not only will this add dimension, but it will help prevent bleeding. Should still be completely transfer proof. Now it's finally time for our lipstick, and you have a couple choices. Longest wearing are going to be the liquid matte and vinyl lipsticks, but I understand they can be a little dry or uncomfortable, so in that case, make sure you're using a matte cream lipstick. And now just swiping this to the center of the lip and blending it into the liner. Should still be 90% transfer proof. A little might come off if you use the cream lipstick like I did, but I promise you this will last you so much longer. But if you do want a little bit of shine, I recommend using a clear gloss. Still give us some rich shine without transferring any color. So there you have it, some do's and don'ts for long wearing lipstick. All my favorites are listed at the link in my bio. Always leave any questions you have and let me know what you'd like to learn about.
Я просто тану від тебе, під твоїм вікном співаю серенади, ім'я твоє малюю на асфальті, така прекрасна, ніби ти нереальна. Я думаю, закохуватись так, це ненормально.
If you apply setting spray like this, your makeup probably doesn't last as much. Let me show you how professional makeup artists apply setting spray. So one line across and X. It'll be there all day.